Hey guys, this is hi guys, this is Andre for today. And I was thinking of doing some tips about railguns and railgun different guns in Tanki Online, and I got a professional on chat right now.
Hi guys.
That will be that we will try to show you some things about Railgun and Hornet combinations, the way how you can play, and some gameplay as well. Now Nick, what do you think of Railgun?
A railgun is pretty great tank and hull. And if you gun, and if you learn how to play with it, you can do a lot of stuff. The main tank of the railgun is a massive power, massive damage with one hit. And another thing, as you can see right here, that shows for example, the railgun. The gun itself fires like a laser, and it goes and goes and goes. And the main point of the railgun, it can pass through the tank and deal the damage to the enemy tank. Like if there are two tanks lined up like that, you can deal full damage to this guy, and as you can see, 55 hit points to that guy. Oh, that's behind him. If you fire from that guy, if you fire from this side, and actually, if you learn, and so that's basically like the most part that you have. It would be a great thing to use a railgun, and you can get double kills in it instantly. Now about the three, there are three people and you shoot through them. Now it's been happening to me a lot because I've been hitting even three people and killing them, but normally I don't think that the game allows that to. It's just some kind of bug, I guess, because from all I experienced before that I had, that never happened, and now it does. So I don't know what, maybe it's a new update or something. So yeah, that's basically the railgun over there. And the main problem with the railgun is its reload. It's when you can catch the railgun off guard with while it's reloading. Yeah, the railgun guy is in trouble unless he has some teammates and he can just outrun the guy that catches you. The guy that just catches you and you have no idea what to do with him. But that's the first thing. Now the second problem with the railgun is that timing. You have to be a great timer and a great strategist to play with the railgun. You have to do a lot of thinking with it, and you have to have a camera control with it, because you will need it for future stuff. Future's the thing that you will need to do with the railgun. As you all know and aware that the railgun itself has a problem. It's firing. Now, it fires and basically lights up, and it fires, and it waits about 2 seconds, or I mean one or 2 seconds, something like that. I don't really remember the exact number, but about that time. And when it fires, it basically lights up and it fires. Now that's the problem. People can see it, which means that they already know what you're doing. So you have to be really timing when basically coming out of the wall, hide behind the wall. You fire, you move out of the wall, and you basically shoot. And you get back into cover and try to hide somewhere. Now, using drugs in the railgun is actually an interesting idea. What I will recommend use in the railgun with the Hornet, well, you definitely need double armor, double power, and nitro, I mean. But now you basically get in trouble with it because of the nitro. Once you come out, you basically very fast. The Hornet is a very fast tank. And when you come out with it, you flip over. You might. So that's basically stuff about the railgun itself.
Now Nick, I have a question for you. What do you think about railgun with Hunter? Because It got more HP than Hornet. It's a bit in a higher angle, and I've seen a lot of players use Hunter and Railgun more than they will use Hornet and Railgun.
Hunter and Railgun is a pretty interesting choice. It gets a lot of speed, as you can see. It has pretty good enough weight, power, and it's an okay tank if you think about it on the second top. Basically, when you get to the Hunter, you need to have at least M2 to play with the Railgun, and the reason is because it's pretty slow. Well, it's not really different, because if you check here, hold on, if you check here, the speed is 10.41, while here is 8.59, while the maneuverability is 90, while here is 98. So the difference between this guy, you need to have M2, because 8.15, well, it's not terrible. There's not a lot of difference between M2 and M3, but and M1, because as you can see here, 991 power, 10,000 power. 1,000 power. So you get more actual speed than that. That's just basic speed with it, but the power applies to it. And with the new gendering, you can actually get a little bit more than that, about 8.90 or something.
Yeah, giving
about that one. And Counter is a pretty steady, medium range tank. You can use it like to support. For example, if you have clan wars, or like something, if you have battle that is teamed up, you can send Hornet with them, and it's all railguns. You can have two Hornet railguns to actually go off the flag, and while you wait, and you just support him with Hornet because of its speed. When it gets out of there, you just support him and support him, go with him, and cover him through once he brings the flag. That's basically for the. You can still do it in random battles, like if you're alone, but it's going to be a little bit different and maybe a little bit harder. But it's still pretty good because you have a lot of health, as you can see, at 180 compared to 133 with the Hornet on M2. So basically, when you have those stuff, you can actually take some more hits. You can survive more. You have more chances, especially because Railgun has a long reload time, which actually proves and shows us that we have just more time to shoot at the enemy once we reload it, because we have more health, and it just depends on the user, on the player.
And now, Nick, what do you think about Viking? It's got more health. All it has is a really bad speed. It's certainly lower than Hunter and Hornet, but it got more health, and probably I've seen also a lot of people using it and doing perfectly, even greater than people with Hornet or Hunter.
It really depends on the skill that you have with a certain tank and a turn, and basically that's all it is. Because if you see here, if you look closely at the what most players don't recognize and realize, they look at the stats, they don't look at the tank itself. If you compare those two, it's a lot bigger. It's actually a lot wider, and what that means that you cannot be a little very sneaky in it. Like, there's a lot of spots on the maps where you can actually hide with the Hornet, but you cannot do it in Viking. That's that. The Viking is actually a camping. Viking is actually more a camping tank, a camping sniper with a railgun that can actually pulverize everything that is on the way, and you just stay there. You just heal yourself. With, you might use some drugs in it, and then you're a beast. But the Viking, I mean, it's a tank of a choice. You have to be really skilled, and you have to know what you're doing. And with this tank, it actually depends on the map where you're playing with this tank. In this combination of everything that you have on it and everything that you want to have, it depends on the players, depends on the guns that the enemy uses, and your friendly guys are using on your own team. There's a lot of different stuff that you can have. Load and do all the stuff that you have on it. It's basically most of that kind of stuff that you want to have on the Viking and the Railgun.
And now we're getting practically to almost the last thing you have, which is the Mammoth. And I had never ever seen a railgun going with Mammoth. That's like, I think, well, your speed gets all of you down, like all your reload time down. So you have to be even more careful with the timing that you use.
Now the Hornet, I mean the Mammoth, as you all aware again, it's a lot bigger profile. It gets more health than all of the tanks. It gets 300 M2, and we're basically speaking about M2. Now the speed is, as you can see, 4.62 at the M2 level. 31 is maneuverability, and look at the big target that it is.
Yeah, it's a big target for especially shafts. They can easily just get you down while you're just going up for a hit.
Yes, and with this tank it will be really, really hard to actually hit something that's above or below you, because you don't have enough speed to actually build it, shoot, and get back in time. You might have get hit. And this is more of a camping sniper, and it's a base defending tank. It rarely goes into attack, and the railgun is mostly an attack type of the gun. It's a sniping attack gun. When basically you go attack, get into position yourself, and you attack from there, and you snipe from that position, but you're still in attack mode, not in like camping defense or camping attack. There's different styles that you can play with Mammoth, but I would definitely not recommend playing this gun with the Mammoth, because the Mammoth doesn't suit for that. There are a lot of stuff you can play with Mammoth, such as Thunder. Thunder would be a good idea in this tank. Well, the Thunder is also on the downside, but it's actually better to play with a Thunder and Mammoth than Railgun and Mammoth. Now the second thing is Freeze. Freeze is a really great idea to play in this tank, especially in defensive mode. You can just defend and just stay in purple. It's the best thing to defense, but also I would never not recommend you using Railgun and Mammoth.
Also, well, you can also use, like, Mammoth is more of, the way I see it, and probably most of, very good players see it, is its defense. It's barely goes to attack. When it goes to attack, it's more of, protecting, like, someone, a flag holder, rather than, getting a flag and move on itself, because it will just die before it even gets to allies flag. Depends on your allies and what they do. Alright, we're getting to the last two tanks, which is a Dictator. The tank itself, it's good, it got good armor, but it's it's huge. But it's also really effective of hitting against high angle tanks. So what do you think about it, Nick?
The Railgun and Dictator is a really, really wise and good choice. In fact, Long ago, when there was a second liner, the Holson turrets, the Dictator and the Railgun was actually the best combo, and it was the best Clan Wars thing. All you see is Dictator and Railgun, and as Andre pointed out, yes, that's right. You see, it's kind of elevated because, and there's another thing to it, that actually the turret itself mounted on the back of the tank. And what that means is that when you move up, you are going to expose this much of your tank, like this much of your tank, to the enemy before you actually get a good shot at them, and you hide only this part.
Yeah, but that's not a thing.
Which is actually the thing with the Dictator. So most players, what they tend to do is turn their tank rear, and then come out of the corner like that. So basically they exposed only this part of their tank, meaning less thing to shoot at, and they hide more stuff. So it's actually better because, and even do before you actually move out, if you like that, before you even get that gun to fire, the people will start shooting at you. But in this situation, at least you start shooting at the same time as they did. The Dictator itself is a really, really good choice and a wise choice for this kind of tank and for everything that is in it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this tank and this turret.
And we're getting to the last tank, which is a Titan. I have not seen Titan in battles with Railgun. Mostly what I see them is when I look over on the forums and stuff. I see a lot of players say that Titan and Railgun is really wise decision, even more wiser than a Viking, which is
That's not true. Those players that probably had some good games in a Titan and the Railgun, and if they did have a good games with it, that probably doesn't mean they had a lot of skills with this combination. It's probably luck or the lack of skill from the other team that they fought with this. Now, the Titan is actually with the Titan. There's the same deal as the Mammoth. It's the exactly same thing. So I won't stop and do a lot of commentary in this because it's basically almost the same. In fact, but the only difference is this tank, as you can see here, gets more health at the M3, while this doesn't. And there's a thing that they do to it. It gets more speed, more power, as you can see, and it weighs less, which basically explains why you have more speed in Titan. But still, I would not recommend this tank at all.
And now the final bonus thing that many players fear of using, that is the Wasp. Apparently, well, the way how I think of how start playing with Wasp, start playing with Hornet, because the Hornet, you can, well, the Wasp is very light. It's fast for at just M0 it gains 10 speed, 10 kilometers per hour. So it's fast, but it's also light, and you can flip over very easily.
That's exactly true. The Railgun has a lot of release explode power, and what that means is that if you fire with this thing on the move, the thing will get flipped over. That's for sure, and especially if it's upgraded and has a lot of speed, as you see here. It doesn't have a lot of health though. And if you compare to the Hornet, Hornet actually has 10 more health than Wasp at M3, but while running Wasp, it will be definitely harder to play with Wasp than Hornet itself. So what I would recommend is not playing with the Wasp until you get it to M2 at least. Yep, M2. And now with the Wasp, you really need to play Hornet before you do Wasp, and you really have to be a really skilled player to play with the Wasp and a Railgun together. That's what I would say, and that's what I recommend to you to do with everything that it is. And that's basically it for the thing. Now about the paints, what do you think about paints?
Well, the way how I started off is getting corrosion. The reason being is, I mostly got in a lot of battles where I had to face off railguns, thunders, and shafts more than, for example, twins or any freezes. That was just particular games that I got into, so I started off with that, and I followed that path to sandstone, which gave me more of twins protection, still while protecting of railgun, thunder, and that's really what Progody gives you. Prodigi, I don't really know how to say it. Except that it gives you instead of twins as it gives you over here, instead it gives you Firebird. So I guess it's a really nice trade given to the way how you pretty much get a lot into battles with more those ranges. What do you think about this line that I chose, Nick?
That's a pretty good line for a Railgun, Thunder, and so medium long range fighters, as you can see here. Now the Rostro wouldn't be a bad idea. It has a Cedar, Thunder, and Freeze protection, and you can actually switch because what they added to the game is you can actually switch the paints, everything that you need inside while not exiting the game.
Yeah, that used to be a big problem back there.
Yeah, so you can just use Prodigy, enter the battle with that, and if there's a lot of freezes in the Cedas, you just put that in and you just play with that. So you can actually switch stuff, like you can play with sand, you can even play with sandstone. In fact, it looks a pretty good color, I guess. That's a pretty cool one. Now this is the Russell, and I hope it'll load soon. Now, yeah, so that's basically it for the stuff that you actually would need to play with while playing with Railgun and everything that you have. There's a lot of stuff that you can actually choose. For example, upgrading Railgun, like click here and upgrade. Now, that's a really interesting choice, and I would definitely not recommend doing anything with it.
True.
And I say anything. You wait till you get to M3. Once you get to M3, do whatever you like with it. Upgrade as much as you want. And the reason being is because when you go to M3 from the M2 or any like M1 to from M0 to M1, whatever, all the things that you upgrade will stay at M2 at that level. So when you get to M3, you won't have the upgrades. Just a waste of crystals.
Yeah.
So in order to save the crystals, don't do that.
Especially now they give out packages. Like say for example, from certain ranks you can get packages like this. Like tank M3, which is you get Hornet M3 and turn Railgun M3, which is really like it gives you a lot of time and effort just to grind to that level to get it. So it's really interesting the way how they do it now. What do you think about these packages? Should you buy them from here on out when you get the crystals?
Absolutely. Once you get the crystals for it, buy it. That will make your life easier. You won't have to grind all the XP for like for example Thunder, right? You can get it faster. Railgun, you can get it faster instead of getting at the general rank. You get it at brigadier rank, and all the stuff that you need. Absolutely get it them if you can. If you cannot, well, grind, get skilled, be good, and once you do, buy them. Or if you already unlocked them before you get to that, you can still buy those because they give you some. Oops. Because they give you some good stuff like paints, everything that you need. So yeah, absolutely get them with all costs that you need. And yeah, so I was Nick, and thank you for inviting me to participate in the video and to participate and help you with the video of the Railgun and for the commentaries that I put. And I thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice to have you, that you can come and join us for our little description of Railgun, of how to play it, pretty much what things to use. I'm Andrew for it, and I thank you all, especially to you, Nick, that coming over here, taking your time to explain different things to us. So I'm very thankful.
Alright, thank you guys, and bye YouTube.
Bye YouTube.